Hello students, this is Hardik sir, and in this video we will be starting our unit 2. There are two chapters in this unit. So as we are given the title, that is state government. So in this particular unit we are going to see both the chapters related with the state government. With chapter 2, that means the first chapter of the unit, you will find that is the role of government in health, and the third chapter will be how the state government works. Altogether we are going to study these two chapters in the same unit. Means consecutively we will be completing both the lessons. Now with this particular lesson, in the beginning itself, with the chapter 2, with role of the government in health, you can find in the beginning some sort of pictures. So you can find something that here you will find a lady selling vegetables. Then you can find this lady with stress. You also can find a picture of hospital, a child getting a treatment, about a food, a medical shop, and even water facilities. So there are a number of things you can find in the beginning itself as an introductory part. So in democracy, what exactly happens? People expect the government to work for their welfare. So what do people expect for? People expect that government to do all the welfare work. Now how this welfare work can be done? That is the question. So this welfare work or this work can be done through number of provisions, by number of means it can be done. For an example, by education, by health, employment, housing, or the development of roads, electricity, etc. Means the government can do the work of welfare by providing education, by providing health facilities, employment facilities, housing facilities, etc. And also by the means of development of roads, electricity, and number of other features like drainage facilities. Number of other criteria are there. So in this chapter we will examine the meanings and problems related to health. So in this particular chapter we are going to focus more upon this welfare work done by the government. So as per the title you can understand role of the government in health. So what we are going to see is about the role of government and the most important criteria, that is health in one's life, and that's why we are going to see that in the beginning of the government's chapter. So as we will be progressing further with the lesson, so please keep looking at the subheadings of this chapter as they are given, so that we can learn something new, and in what ways that you will also be thinking that this topic is related to the work of government. That is most important to be seen. So as now we proceed with the lesson, particularly in the chapter, in the beginning again you will find some pictures, a lady carrying with water, a doctor treating a patient, and number of such things you will find. You also can find health workers, the slum areas. There are number of things you will observe in these pictures. So now what is health? The question arises to all of us, what is a health? Simply you can say anybody or anyone with a disease free body that can be termed as a healthy person. He or she can be termed as a healthy person, but that only does not mean health. So as in the beginning you will find the definition that health, if you are asked with what is health, so we can think of health in many ways. First you are helped with health means our ability to remain free of illness and injuries. So it only you want to say that if you have no disease, if you are not ill, or if you don't have any injuries, that means you are healthy. But it is not like that. But health isn't only about disease. You can find now that health isn't only about disease. You may have associated only some of the situation in the above collage with health. So only some of the situation you can find. There are a number of pictures given, they are collaged in with one another. So some of them you would consider with health and some of them you will not. For an example, if you have to consider this particular picture, so how would you connect it with the health? Or if I talk about this, so they all are related with health. That's what we are going to see in the particular lesson. So apart from disease, if you can come to know that what we often ignore is the fact that each of the above situation is related to health. each of the above, means whatever the pictures you are seeing here, they all are connected with health. They all have some sort of connectivity with health. So what I mean to say is, health does not mean only and only of our ability to remain free of illness and injuries. So it is something beyond about the disease. So in this particular lesson we will see that all these situations are related with health. So as you can come to know, what we often ignore is the fact that each of the above situation is related to health. Apart from disease, we need to think of other factors that affect our health. So there are also some other factors that also play an important role with our health. For example, if people get clean drinking water or a pollution free environment, then obviously you can understand that they are likely to be healthy. So two conditions you can come to know again. So if the people get clean drinking water and pollution free environment, then they are likely to be healthy. There are chances that they will be healthy. We cannot say that 100% they will be, but there are chances, there are more possibilities that a person staying in such environment and also getting clean drinking water can be healthy. On the other hand, if people do not get adequate food even to eat, adequate means enough. So if the people do not get enough food to eat or have to live in cramped conditions, they will be prone to disease. They will be prone to illnesses. Means it wants to say that if a person is not getting enough food, means if he or she is unable to get enough food, so his nutrition requirement of the body cannot be completed, and that's why that person can be prone to diseases. Means he can invite the diseases, he can become ill even with the living in the cramped conditions, means some slum areas or the areas where you find much dirtiness, where they are not clean. So in such areas also people fall sick very soon. So if I ask you again, if you have seen the pictures in your textbook, then please answer this particular question. Would you associate all or some of these pictures with health? All or some? So there is a question you are given. So all or some pictures, what would you, or among the given, which particular picture or pictures will you associate with health, and why? That also you need to answer. So keep thinking. We are not learning anything just to cram, just to score good marks. For knowledge we are learning. So I request you to go through the pictures once again and try with yourself, answer to yourself that why a particular picture is connected with the health. Here also you can find some children playing on the screen. You can see this particular picture. So here you also can find some children playing or enjoying. So can you relate the same with health? That's what you are going to discuss with your own self. So keep discussing, keep thinking about all these things. So even you are also asked with another thing, that pick two situations from the above collage that are not related to illness and write two sentences on how they are related to health. So here you can understand that if a particular picture is not related with illness but they are related to health, so that you have to think about. If you have any query, any doubt, you can also ask in the comment, and to share your view also you can answer in comment. All of us would like to be active in good spirits in whatever we may be doing. That is obvious thing, that you need to be always in good spirit whatever you might be doing. It isn't healthy. Now this is the most important sentence. It isn't healthy to be dull, inactive, anxious or scared for long stretches of time. So for long stretches of time, if a person is very dull, inactive, anxious means worried, scared, frightened of number of things, and for a long period of time if these things go on, then that particular person has a mental strain. So we all need to be without mental strain, and that deals with your mental health. So there are actually three criteria: physical health, social health and mental health. So this particular part deals with the person's mental health. So if a person is not happy, we should be active with good spirit always. But if we are not for a particular time, that is fine. But if the same thing goes on for a long period of time, that means a person is not healthy by the means of mental ways. So that is not good. You can understand from here also that we all need to be without mental strain. All of these various aspects of our lives are part of health. So they are all the parts of health. So those three aspects, as I told you, that is physical health, social health and mental health. With the upcoming page, you also can find a table. So if you have gone through this particular lesson, then definitely you are at least you have some sort of familiarity with the text. If you haven't read it, I request you to go through the textbook once again. Now we will have the introductory part with the subheading, as you can find, healthcare in India. So in this table we are going to get some comparison. You will find that compare and contrast. So those are the things given. So now we will examine some of the aspects of healthcare in India which are exactly expressed in the first and the second columns. So now you can find on the screen that you can find the first column, means particularly with the first row you are given with first column and this second column. So with first column you can find India has the largest number of medical colleges. So what do you mean by this? If India has largest number of medical colleges, that means it can produce the largest number of doctors. Common sense. So if India has the largest number of medical colleges in the world, then obviously we are the largest producers of doctors in the world. You can find the approximate number, that is 15,000 new doctors qualify every year. So 15,000 new doctors. So you can find very good information from this particular part. So most doctors, now we have the second part. Contrary part, you will find most doctors settle in urban areas. People in rural areas have to travel long distances to reach a doctor. Here you can find we have the number, that is 15,000 new doctors qualify every year. But you can find that most of the doctors settle in urban areas. I don't need to explain, but urban area means city areas and rural areas means village areas. So majority of the doctors settle in urban areas. So people from rural areas, means from village areas, they have to travel long distances to reach a doctor. And the number of doctors with respect to the population is also much less in rural areas. There are some sort of doctors, there are many doctors we can say, but it is much less as compared with the urban areas. So if I tell you, as with the respect to the population, if in urban area we consider, if there is one doctor per 1,000 people, then there will be only one doctor for 3,000 people in rural areas. So you can now compare that is much less. So from the first column you can understand that India has largest number of medical colleges, means it produces, our country produces largest number of doctors every year, but still rural areas have problems. Means still in search of doctor they have to travel long distances from rural area to urban area. You can find the second also very important information, that how the healthcare facilities has grown over the years. There is a substantial growth in healthcare facilities over the years. First you are helped with 1950, then 1991, and then you can find with the year 2000. So in 1950 there were only 2,717 hospitals in India. Now you will find the growth. In 1991, 11,174 hospitals. So you can find a growth. There is a good growth. Try to understand what I mean to say. We are going to see a comparison with the contrast. That still we have number of things, we are having number of things, but still there is no growth. Actual there is a growth in numbers, but with the facilities we cannot find. Such problems we have even today. So that's what we are going to see in this lesson. So again the comparison you can do. 1950 we had 2717 hospitals. 1991 we had 11,174 hospitals. If you just consider according to the percentage, then you can find there is a huge growth. If we consider 1991 with 2000, if we compare 1991 with 2000, then you can find that the number has increased a lot. Means the number from 11,174 has risen to 18,218. A huge number of hospitals we have. But now you can find the most important information again, that about 5 lakh people die from tuberculosis, TB in abbreviated form, you know. So from tuberculosis, the 5 lakh people die every year in our country. We have this number of hospitals since 2000, I can say. This number is almost unchanged since independence. You can find the exclamation mark. Means since independence, if we compare only from 1950 to 2000 also, the same number continues. Means from tuberculosis you can find that 5 lakh people die every year. Almost 2 million cases of malaria are reported every year, and this number is also not decreasing. So we have number of hospitals you can find here, and you can find that we have 5 lakh people dying from tuberculosis, and we have at almost 2 million cases of malaria being reported every year, and with a lot of efforts also the number is not decreasing. So you can compare now what I mean to say, that we have the largest number of doctors being produced every year. So still there is a confusion, or we can say that there is a trouble for the people of rural areas. We know that there is a huge growth with the number of hospitals, but still people die from tuberculosis every year. 5 lakh people, it's not a small number, you can understand. You can find with the third point, India gets a large number of medical tourists from many countries. You can find the word many countries. I want to say that who are not even Indian, they are also coming here for medical treatment. They come for treatment in some of the hospitals in that compare with the best in the world. So we have even the hospitals that they are compared with best hospitals in the world, and for that also we have medical tourists from many countries. We are not able to provide clean drinking water to all. See the scenario. We have medical tourists from across the world, we can say, but we are not able to provide clean drinking water to all. 21% of all communicable diseases which are waterborne. You would have studied communicable diseases which are spread very fast, but and they are also waterborne diseases. For example, diarrhea, worms, hepatitis, etc. So we find with this case that we have number of tourists coming in India for treatment. Vice versa, you can find that we are not able to provide even clean drinking water. India is the third largest producer of medicines in the world, and is also a large exporter of medicines. So you can understand that we have, as the largest producer of medicines, we are the largest producer. So we have the very large production of medicines. Vice versa, you can find with the second half that half of the children in India do not get adequate food, enough food to eat, and are undernourished. We have medicines, we have the suppliers of medicines, we have the exporters of medicines, but unfortunately the children, the future of this country, half of the children, as it is said, they are not getting enough food even to eat. So from these two columns you can understand much. I don't need to describe you everything again, but I request you to go through the table once. You can understand the highlighted areas. I will help you to recall again that we have the largest number of medical colleges producing largest number of doctors, but most doctors settle in urban areas and rural areas. Still we have a problem. Healthcare facilities has a huge growth. You can find the number of hospitals from 1950 It has reached to 18,218 in the year 2000. There is a huge growth. 5 lakh people die from tuberculosis, 2 million cases of malaria. You can find it. We have the large number of medical tourists, but we are not able to provide clean drinking water to all. 21% of communicable disease. We have a question also from here, but I don't want to discuss much about the questionnaires. But you should understand everything. Try to gain some knowledge, because in future you only will be in the part of administering the state or a country. And I, being a teacher, want to inform you that at that level you will be working for good, working for the welfare of the people, and that's why you are learning this. You are not only learning this to cram and just to score good marks in the exam. I know that you want to learn for knowledge, and that you can understand all these things well, that what will be your role in the future. Here also you are given with something that what you need to discuss. You just please think on your own. In India, it is often said that we are unable to provide health services for all. For all, it is said that we are unable to provide because the government does not have enough money and facilities. Now, after reading the above left hand column, do you think this is true? Do you agree that whatever is said, that we are not able to provide health services to all? So after reading this particular left column, do you really agree that we do not have such facilities, and that's why we are unable to provide healthcare facilities? Means whatever these absent things you find, correct, they are the results at present scenarios. So do you really agree with this or not? Please think, and if you want to answer in one sentence, then please write in comment. Don't write very lengthy answers. In order to prevent and treat illness, we need appropriate healthcare facilities. So what are those appropriate healthcare facilities? So we should have health centers, hospitals, laboratories for testing, ambulance services, blood banks, etc. There are number of healthcare facilities we need to have with us in order to prevent and treat illnesses. So such facilities, such healthcare facilities are required for prevention and treatment of any illness. And these all can be, or these all can provide us the required care and services that patients need. So the patient's requirement can be fulfilled by all these healthcare facilities. In order to run such facilities also, we need someone. We need number of things. We need number of manpower. So there has to be health workers, nurses, qualified doctors, and other health professionals. We need all these people also who can advise, diagnose, and treat illness. To diagnose, that you can understand, the word itself suggests you, means diagnose informs that what disease a patient is suffering through, and on the basis of this diagnose, there has to be given such treatments. We also need the medicines and equipment that are necessary for treating patients. So we need medicines and equipment also. You can find here, to prevent and treat illness, we need number of healthcare facilities. You have seen like health centers, hospitals, laboratories for testing, ambulance services, etc. After that also, to run these services, there has to be health workers, nurses, qualified doctors, even health professionals. We need all these people. They can advise, diagnose, and treat the illnesses. We also need the medicines and equipment that are necessary, and then only we can prevent and treat the illnesses. So these facilities are required to take care of us. So there is also an important question you can find here, that how we can prevent and treat the illnesses. So this is also an important thing. You should go through the each and every paragraph very carefully, and then only we will be continuing. So if you go with your textbook, then definitely you will learn something new. You also can think in a better way, and that's what the motive of education is. India has a large number of doctors, clinics, and hospitals. Correct? We have already seen with the left column that we have the large number of doctors. We have large number of clinics and hospitals growing day by day. And the country also has considerable experience. We have a very good experience and knowledge in running a public healthcare system. Now you will have this something new, public healthcare system. We are going to see these two parts, public healthcare system and private healthcare system, but that we will be continuing with the next parts. For this we will continue from this only. So this is a system of hospital. Now what do you mean by public healthcare system? So this is a system of hospitals and health centers run by the government. So public healthcare system, what do you mean by public healthcare system? This is a system of hospitals and health centers run by the government. Means they are not privately owned. They do not have the private owners. They are run by government. Each and everything is provided by government. It has the ability to look after the health of a large section of its population scattered over hundreds of thousands of villages. Means these particular centers have the capability, have the ability to look after the health, and not for a very small area. I am talking about a large section of its population, means of our country's population, which is scattered over hundreds of thousands of villages. And for that, public healthcare system works. Means they are all run by the government. It has the ability to look after the health. Try to understand that particular part. I am repeating it for you. It has the ability, but if I just recall with my right hand side column, that 5 lakh people every year die because of tuberculosis, and there are 2 million of cases reported every year of malaria. So we will go into more detail on this later. And moreover, there has been a phenomenal advancement in medical sciences, whereby many new technologies and treatment procedures are available in the country. Means now, as you can see, we have the large number of doctors, we have enough experience and knowledge, we have also an advancement in medical science and technologies also. So they are all available now in the country. It means by the means of health, or by the means of providing health as a welfare of the people, we have now number of facilities increasing day by day in the country. But second column, if we discuss, however, the second column points out how poor the health situation in our country is. Second column, I want to say that right hand side column, as we have seen in the table, with all the above positive developments, as you have seen in the left hand side column. So whatever the positive developments we have seen, we are not able to provide proper healthcare facilities to people. So you have seen we have large number of doctors, we are the third largest producer of medicines, we are the exporters of medicine. But you have seen with the second hand side that from rural area the people have to walk long distances for reaching to a doctor, and to the children who are not even getting enough food to eat, and that's why they are undernourished. So we have seen this is the paradox. Now what do you mean by this word paradox? Something that is contrary to what we would expect. So as you can come to the table again, I will just drive you through that. So you can come to know that if we have the largest number of medical colleges, obviously you will understand that we are the largest producer of doctors. But we have no doctors in rural areas. More than half of the population is still residing in rural areas in our country. So from this you can understand that approximately 15,000 new doctors are qualified every year. But still there are no doctors available in rural areas. So this is a paradox. Means from this you will understand, you will come to know that though we have so many doctors being produced every year, but they all settle in urban areas. So your expectation will be that there will be no shortage of doctors. But in reality, the rural areas have still problems. So that's what we are discussing right now. So that's what the paradox means. So paradox, that is something contrary to what we would expect. We would expect that there will be number of facilities available, so there is a very good growth with the health of the people, but we have something different given. Our country has the money, knowledge and people with experience, but still cannot make the necessary healthcare available to all. We have everything, we have seen with the above paragraph itself. We have knowledge, we have everything, we have the facilities, technologies, science is advancing every year, but still we find that still we are not able to provide necessary health care available to all. So in this chapter we will look at some of the reasons for this. So what we are going to see, a number of things, that what are the reasons for this. We are next given with the story of Hakim Sheikh, that we will be starting by part 2. So thank you. I request you to go through the lesson. Please read each and every single line. If not understood, then you can also ask in comment. So please, I request you to go through the lesson, read carefully. Thank you. Keep learning.